Welcome back to the Red Zone. We wrap things up with North Central College Sports Information Director Clark Teuscher. Clark, thanks for checking in.
It's good to be here.
So the men's cross-country team cruises to the regional title behind Dan Curley and Yana Timascoti, and now they move up one spot in the rankings up to number 2 nationally.
Yeah, it's the kind of performance you'd like to see leading up to a national championship. The gap between the top 5 guys was a little larger than it's been in the past, but part of that was because of the outstanding performance of the 2 guys up front. So certainly look to be heading in the right direction going into a national championship meet.
And how does that help their confidence knowing, they've won the regional title a couple years now, but how does that carry over into the national meet?
I think, between the championship atmosphere that you have at a regional meet, you want to make sure that your guys stand up to the increased pressure, the increased size of the field, the increased amount of attention that's being paid, and the amount of what's on the line there is, you're gunning for a trip to a national championship. A lot of people are, trying to run the best race of their life to try and beat you, and to be able to still be ahead of that and be able to stay out in front of so many people who are going all out certainly has to help confidence going into the last week of the season. Yeah,
the atmosphere at those national races are a lot different than the smaller dual meet races or conference races. It's almost like a football game with some of those fans. The top team that the Cardinals have to worry about is Haverford College. How do you think they'll feed off that energy and give the Cardinals a run for their money as they're ranked number 1 right now?
Yeah, it's an interesting little rivalry because even though we don't see them until the national meet, they do have a fairly good idea of how that team likes to run. Having faced them in so many national championships and been in competition with them for the top spot in the country so often, and we have enough returning guys who have been around and seen that team before. Several of those individuals from Haverford are back this year. So there's a level of familiarity that you wouldn't ordinarily see between a team in Illinois and a team in Pennsylvania, which should help. But the coaching staff really goes to great lengths to put those guys in championship type races where the atmosphere is a little heightened throughout the season, and they start very early in September and regular intervals, finding championship type races for them to run in. So they should have a pretty good idea of what to expect when they go to the nationals.
Well, while the men's cross-country team hopes to end their quest successfully for a national title, another team will be starting their quest for one as the men's basketball team tips off this weekend at home.
A lot of anticipation and a lot of expectations surrounding this year's team after what they were able to accomplish last season. They're going to get a real tough test on Saturday against a team in Hope College that is ranked 7th right now. They were ranked number 1 in the country most of last season. A lot of tournament experience. They are trying to replace a couple of their leading scorers. But it's a team that tends to travel pretty well. They bring a lot of people with them when they go on the road. So it should be a real championship type test for a team that's expected to do some great things this year.
It's always nice to get one of those gauges early in the season to see where your team stands. And the Cardinals returned 4 starters, 2 of which got some preseason accolades this week.
Derek Raridan and Landon Gamble both made the preseason All-America list with D3Hoops.com. Derek was on the first team, which there's only 5 guys on that in the whole country. So that's certainly quite a show of respect that they have as media who cover national Division III basketball. So they're going to be kind of the target guys for everybody to kind of look for. But I think Aaron Tickness and Vince Kamick, the other 2 starters, they have a lot of weapons that they can add. And if you pay too much attention to the top guys there, they can you leave those guys open. They're both very good shooters. They can move with the ball. They're going to run the floor quite a bit. So there's a lot of additional artillery there to mess with. They are trying to replace a point guard. Still kind of a battle between a couple of different guys to see who's going to run that. We found out last year how valuable a point guard can be. So that's going to be a real area of focus for early on. And whoever stands up to the pressure the best in this game against Hope is going to give themselves a leg up on that competition.
Well, hopefully the Cardinals can live up to the hype and the men's cross-country team comes away a winner this weekend. Clark, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
The Cardinals head out west to open up the playoffs against California Lutheran University on Saturday. Kickoff set for 2 p.m. Central Time. If you don't have enough frequent flyer miles to cheer on the Cardinals in person, you can find links to live coverage on northcentralcardinals.com under the Football Schedule tab. I'm Mark Dahlquist. We'll see you next week on the Red Zone.